Question 1. What are Miranda rights, and when are they applicable in Maryland? A. Rights guaranteed to crime victims. B. Rights related to firearm ownership. C. Rights of the accused during police interrogation. D. Rights of law enforcement officers. Correct answer. C. Rights of the accused during police interrogation. Explanation. Miranda rights protect the rights of the accused during police interrogation in Maryland, ensuring that individuals are aware of their right to remain silent and their right to legal representation. Question 2. What does the Code of Ethics for Maryland law enforcement officers emphasize? A. Violation of personal boundaries. B. Confidentiality and integrity. C. Aggressive behavior towards suspects. D. Disregard for community concerns. Correct answer. B. Confidentiality and integrity. Explanation. The Code of Ethics for Maryland law enforcement officers emphasizes confidentiality, integrity, and professional conduct in all interactions with the public and within the department. Question 3. Officer Rodriguez is assigned to a community outreach program in a diverse neighborhood. How should Officer Rodriguez engage with residents to build trust and address community concerns effectively? A. Ignore community feedback. B. Use aggressive policing tactics. C. Foster open communication and collaboration. D. Implement strict enforcement measures. Correct answer. C. Foster open communication and collaboration. Explanation. In diverse communities in Maryland, effective community policing involves fostering open communication, collaboration, and trust between law enforcement officers and residents to address community concerns and promote public safety. Question 4. What are some key components of Maryland Police Department policies and protocols? A. Violation of human rights. B. Use of force guidelines. C. Excessive bureaucracy. D. Ineffective communication. Correct answer. B. Use of force guidelines. Explanation. Maryland Police Department policies and protocols include guidelines for the appropriate use of force by officers, emphasizing de-escalation techniques and accountability in all law enforcement interactions. Question 5. What is the role of law enforcement in the Maryland legal process? A. Influencing judicial decisions. B. Enforcing court orders. C. Implementing sentencing guidelines. D. Upholding the law and ensuring public safety. Correct answer. D. Upholding the law and ensuring public safety. Explanation. Law enforcement in Maryland plays a crucial role in upholding the law, ensuring public safety, and enforcing court orders within the framework of the Maryland legal system. Question 6. What are some Maryland-specific traffic regulations that law enforcement officers must enforce? A. Laws related to DUI. B. Regulations on pet ownership. C. Guidelines for public gatherings. D. Rules for trash disposal. Correct answer. A. Laws related to DUI. Explanation. Maryland law enforcement officers enforce specific regulations related to DUI, including laws governing alcohol consumption and impaired driving, to ensure road safety and prevent accidents. Question 7. How does critical thinking contribute to effective policing in Maryland? A. By relying on intuition. B. By assessing situations objectively. C. By ignoring community feedback. D. By prioritizing personal interests. Correct answer. B. By assessing situations objectively. Explanation. Critical thinking enables law enforcement officers in Maryland to assess situations objectively, analyze complex issues, and make informed decisions that uphold public safety and respect individual rights. Question 8. Why is cultural diversity awareness important for law enforcement officers in Maryland? A. To promote discrimination. B. To ignore community needs. C. To foster inclusivity and equity. D. To enforce strict immigration policies. Correct answer. C. To foster inclusivity and equity. Explanation. Cultural diversity awareness helps law enforcement officers in Maryland foster inclusivity, respect, and understanding in their interactions with diverse communities, promoting equity and fairness in policing practices. Question 9. What are some Maryland-specific firearm laws and regulations that law enforcement officers must adhere to? A. Laws related to pet ownership. B. Regulations on food safety. C. Guidelines for public gatherings. D. Laws governing firearm possession and use. Correct answer. D. Laws governing firearm possession and use. Explanation. Maryland law enforcement officers must adhere to specific laws and regulations governing firearm possession and use to ensure public safety and prevent firearms-related incidents. Question 10. Officer Smith responds to a call about a disturbance at a local park involving multiple individuals. How should Officer Smith assess and address the situation? A. Ignore the disturbance and leave the scene. B. Approach the situation aggressively. C. Gather information and assess potential risks. D. Engage in physical confrontation immediately. Correct answer. C. Gather information and assess potential risks. Explanation. In Maryland-specific policing scenarios, law enforcement officers must gather information, assess potential risks, and determine the appropriate course of action to ensure public safety and resolve the situation peacefully. Rushing into confrontation without proper assessment can escalate tensions and lead to unnecessary harm. Question 11. What are the requirements for a lawful arrest in Maryland? A. Probable cause and a search warrant. B. Reasonable suspicion and a court order. C. Miranda rights and a confession. D. Probable cause and legal authority. Correct answer. D. Probable cause and legal authority. Explanation. In Maryland, a lawful arrest requires probable cause, which means there must be sufficient evidence to believe that a crime has been committed, and the arresting officer must have the legal authority to make the arrest. Question 12. How does confidentiality contribute to ethical conduct in law enforcement? A. By protecting sensitive information. B. By sharing confidential details with the public. C. By disregarding privacy rights. D. By exploiting personal information. Correct answer. A. By protecting sensitive information. Explanation. Confidentiality in law enforcement ensures that sensitive information, such as ongoing investigations or personal data, is protected from unauthorized disclosure, maintaining trust and integrity within the community. Question 13. What strategies can law enforcement use to address community needs and concerns in Maryland? A. Ignoring community feedback. B. Implementing top-down directives. C. Collaborating with local organizations. D. Enforcing strict regulations. Correct answer. C. Collaborating with local organizations. Explanation. Effective community policing in Maryland involves collaborating with local organizations and community members to identify and address community needs and concerns, fostering trust and cooperation. Question 14. Officer Jackson responds to a call about a potential burglary in progress. What steps should Officer Jackson take to ensure the safety of all parties involved? A. Wait for backup before approaching the scene. B. Rush into the building to apprehend the suspect. C. Assess the situation and establish a perimeter. D. Ignore the call and continue patrol. Correct answer. C. Assess the situation and establish a perimeter. Explanation. In high-risk situations like a potential burglary, officers should assess the situation, establish a perimeter to contain the area, and wait for backup before taking further action to ensure the safety of all parties involved. Question 15. What role do Maryland criminal justice agencies play in the legal process? A. Influencing legislative decisions. B. Implementing sentencing guidelines. C. Enforcing traffic laws. D. Providing legal representation. Correct answer. B. Implementing sentencing guidelines. Explanation. Maryland criminal justice agencies play a role in implementing sentencing guidelines and ensuring that court orders are carried out within the legal process. Question 16. What are the penalties for violating DUI laws in Maryland? A. Warning letter. B. Community service. C. License suspension and fines. D. Verbal warning. Correct answer. C. License suspension and fines. Explanation. Violating DUI laws in Maryland can result in penalties such as license suspension, fines, and even imprisonment, depending on the severity of the offense and any previous convictions. Question 17. Why is it important for law enforcement officers in Maryland to consider the potential consequences of their actions? A. To prioritize personal interests. B. To avoid accountability. C. To minimize risks and prevent harm. D. To exploit vulnerabilities. Correct answer. C. To minimize risks and prevent harm. Explanation. Considering the potential consequences of their actions allows law enforcement officers in Maryland to make informed decisions that minimize risks, uphold public safety, and prevent harm to themselves and others. Question 18. How can law enforcement officers in Maryland address biases in their interactions with diverse communities? A. By promoting discriminatory practices. B. By ignoring cultural differences. C. By recognizing and challenging biases. D. By enforcing strict immigration policies. Correct answer. C. By recognizing and challenging biases. Explanation. Law enforcement officers in Maryland can address biases by recognizing their existence, actively challenging them, and adopting inclusive practices that promote fairness and equity in their interactions with diverse communities. Question 19. What are the requirements for firearm training and qualification for law enforcement officers in Maryland? A. No training required. B. Basic marksmanship skills. C. Annual recertification and proficiency testing. D. Limited firearm access. Correct answer. C. Annual recertification and proficiency testing. Explanation. Law enforcement officers in Maryland are required to undergo annual firearm recertification and proficiency testing to ensure they maintain the skills necessary to handle firearms safely and effectively. Question 20. Officer Nguyen responds to a call about a disturbance involving multiple individuals at a local bar. How should Officer Nguyen de-escalate the situation? A. Use aggressive tactics to assert authority. B. Ignore the situation and leave the scene. C. Assess the situation and communicate calmly. D. Engage in physical confrontation immediately. Correct answer. C. Assess the situation and communicate calmly. Explanation. De-escalating the situation involves assessing the factors contributing to the disturbance, communicating calmly with the individuals involved, and using strategies to diffuse tensions and prevent escalation, ensuring the safety of all parties involved. Question 21. What is the role of probable cause in Maryland arrest procedures? A. It allows officers to arrest anyone they suspect. B. It authorizes officers to conduct searches without warrants. C. It requires officers to obtain a search warrant before making an arrest. D. It provides legal justification for making an arrest. Correct answer. D. It provides legal justification for making an arrest. Explanation. Probable cause in Maryland arrest procedures refers to the reasonable belief that a crime has been committed and that the individual to be arrested committed the crime. It serves as the legal justification for making an arrest. Question 22. How does integrity contribute to ethical conduct in law enforcement? A. By promoting dishonest behavior. B. By upholding honesty and moral principles. C. By ignoring legal standards. D. By prioritizing personal interests. Correct answer. B. By upholding honesty and moral principles. Explanation. Integrity in law enforcement involves upholding honesty, moral principles, and ethical standards. It ensures that officers act with transparency, fairness, and accountability in all their interactions. Question 23. How can law enforcement officers in Maryland build trust with immigrant communities? A. By enforcing strict immigration policies. B. By ignoring cultural differences. C. By fostering open communication and collaboration. D. By promoting discriminatory practices. Correct answer. C. By fostering open communication and collaboration. Explanation. Building trust with immigrant communities in Maryland requires law enforcement officers to foster open communication, respect cultural differences, and collaborate with community members to address shared concerns and promote public safety. Question 24. Officer Patel encounters a homeless individual loitering near a residential area. How should Officer Patel handle the situation? A. Arrest the individual for loitering. B. Ignore the individual and continue patrol. C. Assess the individual's needs and provide assistance. D. Issue a warning and leave the scene. Correct answer. C. Assess the individual's needs and provide assistance. Explanation. In scenarios involving homeless individuals, officers should assess the individual's needs, provide assistance or referrals to support services, and address any potential safety concerns, prioritizing compassion and empathy in their response. Question 25. How does the Maryland judicial system ensure fairness and impartiality in legal proceedings? A. By prioritizing certain cases over others. B. By disregarding individual rights. C. By providing equal access to justice. D. By ignoring legal standards. Correct answer. C. By providing equal access to justice. Explanation. The Maryland judicial system ensures fairness and impartiality in legal proceedings by providing equal access to justice for all individuals, regardless of their background or circumstances. Question 26. What are some consequences of violating Maryland traffic laws? A. Monetary rewards. B. License suspension and fines. C. Public recognition. D. Verbal commendation. Correct answer. B. License suspension and fines. Explanation. Violating Maryland traffic laws can result in penalties such as license suspension, fines, and increased insurance premiums, aimed at promoting road safety and deterring reckless behavior. Question 27. Why is it important for law enforcement officers in Maryland to consider alternative solutions in complex situations? A. To assert authority over individuals. B. To avoid accountability. C. To minimize harm and promote public safety. D. To exploit vulnerabilities. Correct answer. C. To minimize harm and promote public safety. Explanation. Considering alternative solutions in complex situations allows law enforcement officers in Maryland to minimize harm, promote public safety, and achieve positive outcomes while respecting individual rights and dignity. Question 28. How can law enforcement agencies in Maryland address bias in their recruitment and hiring processes? A. By promoting diversity and inclusivity. B. By disregarding cultural differences. C. By enforcing strict immigration policies. D. By ignoring community feedback. Correct answer. A. By promoting diversity and inclusivity. Explanation. Law enforcement agencies in Maryland can address bias in their recruitment and hiring processes by promoting diversity, inclusivity, and equal opportunities for individuals from diverse backgrounds, ensuring that the department reflects the communities it serves. Question 29. What are some safety measures that law enforcement officers in Maryland must follow when handling firearms? A. Disregard firearm safety protocols. B. Store firearms improperly. C. Maintain proficiency and undergo regular training. D. Ignore legal regulations. Correct answer. C. Maintain proficiency and undergo regular training. Explanation. Law enforcement officers in Maryland must follow safety measures such as maintaining proficiency, undergoing regular training, and storing firearms securely to prevent accidents and ensure responsible firearm use. Question 30. Officer Williams responds to a domestic dispute involving multiple family members. How should Officer Williams de-escalate the situation? A. Use aggressive tactics to assert authority. B. Ignore the dispute and leave the scene. C. Communicate calmly and separate individuals if necessary. D. Engage in physical confrontation immediately. Correct answer. C. Communicate calmly and separate individuals if necessary. Explanation. De-escalating the situation in a domestic dispute involves communicating calmly, assessing the situation, and separating individuals if necessary to prevent escalation and ensure the safety of everyone involved.